we are going to talk about how to navigate the big ask in a challenging environment. We're going to spend a little bit of time talking about the environment because I think we need to be realistic about what's going on out there with our donors. However, we're also going to share our best recommendations. And we are frontline fundraisers and consultants. We are working every day in the field, either actively raising money, meeting with donors, or coaching our friends to do the same. So we're going to tell you what's changed with major gift fundraising today, we think, and also what is still working. And we want to talk about how to rise above the noise so that you can remind donors why they love you.
One of the things that we should be doing is to think differently about the way we do fundraising. It's not, business as usual. It's really time to be creative, unique in our approach, to be noticed and rise above the fray. And I think those are the kinds of things that maybe our participants today would benefit from, is to have that kind of conversation. What can we do differently to do well in this environment?
We were talking earlier too about the difference. So many people approach major gift fundraising from an annual giving fundraising mindset, which is transactional. Mm-hmm. And everybody listening, this is your moment. This is your moment to move into relationship-based, away from the money focus, but more about the donor and why they care and what's going on with them and the impact the donor makes. It's classic donor-centered fundraising, but it's donor-centered major gift fundraising, right? Because in a way, we're letting go of the money. Perhaps that's our big takeaway today. Let go of the money and be showing so much love to your donors that they're going to circle back around because they're appreciating being recognized.
Donors want to be inspired. They've already got 10 organizations who they care about but don't inspire them. Be that other shiny one that does more with their resources. It's not about the money.
Educate your leadership and your board about what's going to be most effective right now. The best return on your investment of time, and your time is incredibly precious, is to work with your existing donor base and to mine that base in the way that's scientific initially, to understand what the affinity is and why these people are supporting you.
Go in and look for those donors who gave last year but have not yet given this year, and then break them into sort of segments by how much their gift level was in the past. That gives you an idea of, and then you prioritize that.
There's something very simple you can do with your database that does not require a monetary investment, and that is, do a query and figure out who your top maybe 50 donors are, and look at their giving patterns and figure out what all these 50 donors, you probably know them, but start to write down some things that they have in common as a group.
I met a young man who's running for town council here in Chapel Hill, and he found out I was a fundraising consultant. He said, "Oh, can you give me a tip?" I said, "Yeah, I sure can, in 60 seconds. Take a look at your thank you letters and make them all about how wonderful the donor is. Use the word you in every sentence, like, you, because of your gift, I know that you believe in this for our town, and you are taking a stand to make this happen, blah, blah, blah. You are so wonderful, blah, blah, blah." Well, apparently good old Theodore did this, and he's gotten feedback from his thank you notes. And one donor said he has a thank you note on his refrigerator. And so, that way Theodore is turning that donor into a longtime supporter. So an anonymous attendee up here in the question box says they've got a donor who's worried about the recession and she's holding off. That's the time to show your donor some love. Get rid of the transaction.
Your job in Discovery is not to cow-tie and wrangle the person to the ground and force them to be a prospect. That is not your job. your job, I get like Ellie's talking about, if the donor will engage with you and you're kind of figuring out what is their pace, what are their motivations, what are their interests, where are they right now, so that you can meet them where they are if they are willing to engage with you. If they are not willing to engage with you, you put them on the back burner.
It's not, will you consider a gift of 500,000 toward this project? It's never like that for me. You know, the ask is always elegant. I'm trying to think of the right word, but it's an organic kind of way to have the discussion.
You always want to listen your way through a conversation. And you also want to not be afraid to ask questions.
They
Mhm.
can talk all day
Mhm.
about their philanthropy, and they're spilling the beans and giving you the breadcrumbs, the little brick road about what is going to trigger their interest. So listening skills are another back to basic. But I tell you what, you can listen your way to that gift, can't you, Catherine?
Mhm. You absolutely can.
So you see the methodology that we teach and to all of our campaign clients through the Major Gifts Intensive and in all of our public webinars and workshops is what we call a no ask ask. And it is a series of conversations that you have with the donor, starting with discovery and moving right on through a gift conversation. And so if you get your donor talking about what they are passionate about, regardless of world events, regardless of governmental shutdowns and wars and tsunamis and everything else, your donors care about your work. And that's how you evoke that connection again, by getting them to talk about it.